Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 15 essential Linux commands that every DevOps engineer must know to survive in production. Most tutorials skim the surface, but I have seen these specific commands save teams hours of downtime during critical incidents. This is the difference between a junior and a senior engineer. Let us get into the tools you will actually use on the job every single day. This is how you gain control over your infrastructure. We have a lot to cover. Specifically, that includes system inspection, advanced text processing, network debugging, process management, and log analysis. These are the building blocks of daily DevOps work, so do not skip ahead. Watch all the way through to actually understand this properly. Quick note, this channel shares practical IT tutorials daily. So if that is useful to you, hit subscribe and join our WhatsApp community linked in the description for more resources. Think about this. You are paged at 3 in the morning because a microservice is failing. Your dashboard shows high latency. You need to log in and find the root cause immediately. If you cannot quickly inspect logs or find runaway processes, that incident lasts minutes longer than it should. Terminal fluency is not just about speed, it is about visibility. To follow along, you need a standard Linux environment. Ubuntu 22.04 LTS is the industry standard for most cloud workloads. You should be comfortable with basic shell navigation. Make sure you have sudo access, as we will be monitoring system-level resources. If you are on Windows, I highly recommend using WSL2. If you are on macOS, the default terminal is fine, but ensure you have a standard GNU Corutil suite installed. Take a moment to review each point shown on screen. The first command is Htop. It is an interactive process viewer. It is far superior to the legacy top command because it gives you a color-coded overview of CPU usage per core and RAM consumption. If you are on a minimal server where Htop is not installed, use top with the batch flag and head to get a snapshot of the top processes. This is your first stop when investigating performance issues. This is what you should see. The first few lines show your CPU, memory, and swap usage. Underneath, you see the list of processes sorted by CPU usage by default. Look at the RES column. That is the resident set size. It tells you exactly how much physical RAM each process is actually using. This is crucial for identifying memory leaks in your containerized applications. Next, let us look at the holy trinity of text processing: grep, awk, and set. This command shows a real-world scenario. We search for error strings in Nginx logs, extract the status code column using awk, then sort and count the unique occurrences. This allows you to instantly see if you are getting a spike in 500 level errors or 404s without needing external monitoring tools. The output shows the frequency of specific HTTP status codes. You can see 45 instances of internal server errors. This immediately tells you that something is broken on the backend. This pipeline is incredibly efficient because it processes text line by line without loading the entire log file into memory. It is how you analyze gigabytes of logs in seconds. When a service fails to start, it is almost always a port conflict. The ss command replaces the older netstat. We use the flag stulpin to show TCP, UDP, listening sockets, and the process name associated with each. This is exactly what you run when your web server says address already in use. You need to know which process is hogging port 80 or 443. Here, the output confirms Nginx is listening on port 80 with process ID 1234. If you see a process you do not recognize, you now have the PID to kill it or investigate it further. This is a non-negotiable step for network troubleshooting. Always verify that your application is actually bound to the correct network interface. Sometimes a process hangs and needs to be restarted. Use saux to list all processes. Pipe that to grep to filter for your specific app. Then use the kill command with signal 15 to request a graceful shutdown. Only use signal 9, which is the force kill, if the process is completely unresponsive. Graceful shutdown allows your application to close database connections and finish ongoing requests. You see, the PID here is 124. Sending signal 50 tells the application it is time to exit. If you see a process stuck in the D state or zombie state, you might need to look at the parent process. But for 99% of situations, signal 15 is the correct way to handle process termination in a production environment. For modern Linux distributions, system manages logs. The journalctl command is how you access them. Using the U flag specifies the service name, N50 gives you the last 50 lines, and no pager stops it from opening a scrollable interface. This is vital when you are scripting automated log collection for your monitoring stack. You need the raw output, not an interactive window. This shows you exactly when and why the error occurred. The log message indicates a connection refused error. This is a classic symptom of a downstream dependency being down. You now have the exact timestamp and error context to report to the team responsible for that downstream service. This is how you move from guessing to knowing. This is a real scenario. A logistics platform had 10,000 requests per minute failing. By using these commands, they identified that their background worker was leaking memory and exhausting system sockets. Instead of rebooting the entire server, which would have caused further downtime, they identified the specific process and isolated the issue. That is the power of these tools. First, never run commands as root if a standard user account will do. It is a massive security risk. Second, avoid using signal 9 for processes. Always try signal 15 first to allow for clean state cleanup. Finally, do not ignore load average. A high load average with low CPU usage often points to I or O weight issues, meaning your disk is the bottleneck, not your processor. Avoiding these will save you hours of debugging time. Use Htop when you need to see what is happening right now on your machine. Use the text processing tools like grep and awk when you are dealing with massive log files that you cannot open in a text editor. Use SS whenever you are debugging connectivity issues between services. And stick to journalctl for anything managed by system. Each tool has a specific purpose. Use these criteria to decide if this tool is right for your situation. To recap, you now know how to monitor resources, parse logs, verify network connections, manage processes, and access system logs. Remember, the terminal is your primary interface to the infrastructure. Spend time practicing these commands. They are the tools that distinguish elite engineers. If you found this video helpful and you think it can help others in the community too, please do like and hype the video. It helps more people find this content. Hit subscribe to stay updated for our regular videos. Join our WhatsApp community using the link in the description where we share more practical IT resources daily. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. If this video helped you, hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Join our WhatsApp community. Find the link in the description for more practical IT resources daily. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.